to say, when you cast that vote, it was the greatest vote you ever cast, because that's when our country started winning again. We're going to win on trade.
Donald Trump rally supporters in the North Country. Also, former President Bill Clinton stops to Watertown to campaign for his wife, Hillary Clinton. And the walk is on to save lives from heart disease and stroke. 7 News is next.
You're watching the North Country's news station. 7 News starts now. From our studio in downtown Watertown, here is Patrick Malowski.
Good evening. A historic day in the North Country. Not since Jimmy Carter has a presidential candidate come to Watertown, but gearing up for Tuesday's presidential primary in New York, 3 campaigns stop in Watertown in a matter of 2 days, and we have team coverage of those visits tonight. First, we'll take you to the Watertown International Airport, and that's where Donald Trump held a rally earlier this afternoon in front of a packed crowd. And then to Bill Clinton campaigning this afternoon for his wife, Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton. And we start our election 2016 team coverage with 7 News reporter Chris Spiker at the airport where Trump held his rally. And Chris, what was the reaction of the crowd in the room?
Patrick, overall the supporters today were very positive. People from across the state came out to the rally. We even met some people at 9 a.m. who came all the way from New Jersey. Trump did talk about the issues particular to the North Country, like the military and the region's workforce. Thousands of Donald Trump's North Country supporters greeted the Republican frontrunner at Watertown International Airport Saturday.
Beautiful, and I know why they call it Watertown, because I flew over and there's a lot of water. That's pretty good.
Yep. He also talked about the importance of going out and voting for the primary on Tuesday. Patrick?
Chris, thanks. Former President Bill Clinton in Watertown to campaign for his wife Hillary this afternoon. 7 News reporter Olivia Eugenio was there and now joins us live in the studio with more. Olivia.
Thanks, Patrick. The politics-filled afternoon in the North Country kicked off with a visit by former President Bill Clinton. But the majority of his time wasn't spent speaking. Instead, Clinton was one-on-one with voters. In a week full of presidential candidate visits, her husband encouraged voters to hit the polls next Tuesday and vote for who he believes has the experience and drive to get it all done. Patrick?
Olivia, thank you very much. And with Trump and Clinton in town, Bernie Sanders supporters wanted to make sure their candidate was well represented today. Around a dozen people were holding signs up on cars on Watertown's public square, rallying behind the Democratic candidate.
Balance of democracy. We of course have Clinton in town today and Trump, and it helps the people to see that everybody cares about some kind of a candidate.
I just think Senator Sanders would be good for America. Go vote Tuesday.
And later tonight, we'll have extended election coverage. 7 News reporter Amanda Corna will have reaction from the Trump rally goers, and we'll have the GOP Wyoming results tonight at 11 o'clock. Again on 7 News. Well, let's go right to our first look at the forecast with John Kubis. And John, I think it's safe to say it finally feels like spring outside.
It feels like spring, and it looks a lot like summer if you happen to be indoors and just looking out of a window. A gorgeous day outside, hardly a cloud in the sky. I'll give you all those forecast weather details, and we'll check next weekend too. All that coming up for you in a little bit.
All right, thank you very much, John. And still to come, there's plenty of high school sports on the docket today. Mel Busser's in to break down the games. Also, families and friends carrying on the lives of those who died of heart disease and celebrated the ones who survived. We'll be back.
This is the North Country's news station. You're watching the news with Patrick Malowski. Weather with Joe LaPlante. And Rob Crone's sports. It's 7 News this evening.
1,500 strong came out to fight the nation's #1 killer, heart disease and stroke. Walkers and runners raised over $235,000 at this morning's North Country Heart Walk at Jefferson Community College. And why have they been doing this for 22 years? Well, they do it to honor those who have died and celebrate the survivors that fight for their families.
Determination that I want to be around for my great-granddaughter. So she wasn't here yet. She is now, and so I just think that everybody should have a chance to enjoy great-granddaughters and granddaughters and grandsons. And I just believe that we need to make sure that this is something that's eradicated sooner than later.
And along the walk was the Field of Hope, where people left messages for loved ones who have passed away. And when we come back, John Kubis will have your full look at the forecast. Stay with us.